They say water is life. But what if the only water around you could kill you? In this epic Prepper's Edge deep dive, we take on one of the greatest survival challenges, turning seawater into safe, drinkable water when the grid is down and fresh water is gone. Long before modern filters, pressure pumps, or techie gear, ancient survivors already knew how to beat the ocean. The first ever method to turn seawater into drinking water wasn't invented in a lab. It came from the desert, it came from the sea, and it came from the sun. This technique is called solar distillation, and it's still one of the most powerful ways to stay alive when you're surrounded by salt water. In this episode of Prepper's Edge, we explore how, before pressure filters and desalination pumps, there was the sun. This is the original survival method, and it still works. Welcome back to Prepper's Edge. Let's unlock the oldest prepper trick in the book and drink the ocean. But what happens when the only water around you is salt water? The ocean, vast and powerful, becomes a formidable enemy. Drinking seawater won't quench your thirst. It will accelerate your demise. It's a harsh reality faced by sailors, adventurers, and anyone stranded at sea. Imagine yourself adrift on a life raft, the sun beating down relentlessly. You're surrounded by water, yet you're parched, your throat burning with thirst. The instinct to drink the ocean water is strong, almost overwhelming, but giving in to that urge would be a fatal mistake. Salt water is a cruel deceiver, promising hydration but delivering only dehydration and death. But hope is not lost. For centuries, those facing the unforgiving sea have found ways to turn this deadly enemy into a life-saving ally. Ancient mariners, stranded castaways, and skilled survivalists have all unlocked the secrets of saltwater survival. In this exploration of survival, we delve into the science and the strategies that can mean the difference between life and death. Get ready to learn the art of drinking the ocean. Your survival may depend on it. The ocean, a vast expanse of blue, holds a deadly secret within its alluring depths. Seawater is a saline solution containing roughly 35 grams of dissolved salts per litre. Our kidneys can only produce urine that's about twice as salty as our blood. When we ingest seawater, our bodies launch a desperate struggle for survival. The high salt concentration disrupts fluid balance, drawing water out of our cells. As dehydration intensifies, the body's internal systems begin to shut down. Hallucinations cloud judgment and make rational thought impossible. In 1942, 8 shipwrecked sailors made a fateful decision to drink seawater. Within hours, the salt took its toll. Only 2 survived. The rest perished from dehydration. The ocean may seem like an endless expanse of undrinkable water, but nature holds the key to unlocking its life-giving potential: desalination. This process involves removing dissolved salts from seawater to create fresh water suitable for drinking. Can't I just use a regular water filter to remove the salt? Standard filters can't handle dissolved salts in seawater. We need specialized desalination methods. Humans have developed 3 primary desalination techniques: solar stills, heat distillation, and pressure systems. Each method separates fresh water from salt water. Ancient cultures devised methods for extracting fresh water from the ocean, using nature's cycles. The solar still harnesses the sun's energy to evaporate water, leaving salt behind. With this knowledge, you can turn a dire situation into a chance for survival. Constructing a solar still is achievable with limited resources. All you need is a clear plastic sheet, a container, and some sand or rocks to secure it. While the basic solar still design is remarkably effective, there are several techniques you can employ to enhance its efficiency and maximize your freshwater yield. Consider the color of your collection container. Darker colors absorb more heat from the sun, accelerating the evaporation process. Pay attention to the angle of the plastic sheeting. A steeper angle will encourage faster runoff of condensation. Adding a small amount of vegetation to the salt water in the pit can increase the humidity inside the still, accelerating the evaporation process. However, avoid adding too much, as this can hinder condensation and reduce the overall yield. The sun isn't the only source of heat that can transform deadly seawater into life-giving freshwater. Harnessing the power of fire, we can accelerate the desalination process through a method known as steam distillation. This technique allows us to boil the ocean and condense its pure vapor into drinkable water. Steam distillation works by exploiting the different boiling points of water and salt. By capturing and cooling this steam, we can collect pure, distilled water free from the contaminants that make seawater deadly. While the principle of steam distillation is simple, setting up an effective distillation system requires some basic equipment. The essential components include a heat source, a boiling vessel, a condenser, and a collection container. The heat source provides the energy to boil the seawater. The boiling vessel holds the seawater and channels the steam upward. The condenser facilitates the cooling and condensation of the steam back into liquid water, which is then collected in the container. With your distillation setup assembled, the process of transforming seawater into drinkable water is straightforward yet requires careful attention. The key is to maintain a steady boil without scorching the seawater. Fill your boiling vessel with seawater, position your condenser securely above the vessel, and start your heat source. As the seawater boils, steam will rise, cool down, and transition back into liquid water droplets through condensation. These droplets will then trickle down the condenser and collect in your container, providing you with a slow but steady supply of purified water. Junkyard genius. DIY distilleries from scrap. In a survival situation, resourcefulness is paramount. The ability to improvise and adapt to your surroundings can mean the difference between life and death. Thankfully, the principles of steam distillation can be applied using a wide range of materials, allowing you to create a DIY distillery from scavenged items or even household objects. If you find yourself near a vehicle, the radiator can be repurposed as a highly efficient condenser, but here's the danger. Most car radiators contain, if not thoroughly cleaned, flushed, and sterilized, your purified water could become just as dangerous as the salt water you started with. Its network of tubes, designed for cooling engine coolant, provides an ideal surface area for condensing steam. Similarly, an old kettle or pot, even if damaged, can serve as a boiling vessel. Copper tubing, often found in plumbing systems, is an excellent conductor of heat and can be easily bent and shaped to create a coiled condenser. Even a simple glass bottle, heated carefully over a flame, can create enough steam for small-scale distillation. The key is to think creatively and experiment with different materials to achieve the desired outcome. When every drop counts, maximizing your yield. In a survival setting, every drop of fresh water is precious. Therefore, optimizing your distillation setup for maximum yield is crucial. Small adjustments to your technique and equipment can significantly impact the amount of drinkable water you can produce. One simple yet effective way to increase yield is to insulate your boiling vessel. Wrapping the pot in a layer of cloth, leaves, or even sand can help retain heat, requiring less energy to maintain a boil and accelerating the distillation process. Additionally, ensure that your condenser is positioned to maximize contact with the steam. Another critical factor is maintaining a clean system. Salt buildup on the condenser can hinder heat transfer and reduce efficiency. Regularly wiping down the condenser surface with a clean cloth will improve its performance. Lastly, be patient. Steam distillation is a relatively slow process, but with perseverance and attention to detail, you can transform even the saltiest seawater into a life-sustaining source of hydration. When disaster strikes in an urban environment, accessing fire for traditional desalination methods might be impossible or downright dangerous. But don't despair. The sun, even when peeking through a web of power lines and skyscrapers, can still be your ally in the fight for clean water. Remember, the principles of desalination remain the same, even if your surroundings have shifted from sandy beaches to concrete landscapes. One of the simplest no-fire desalination techniques is the black bottle method. Find a clear plastic bottle and a second bottle, ideally a dark-colored glass bottle like those used for wine or juice. The darker the bottle, the better it will absorb the sun's heat. Fill the clear bottle with seawater, leaving some space at the top. Now, empty the dark bottle and carefully insert the neck of the clear bottle into its opening, forming an inverted V shape. Place your makeshift still in a sunny location, ideally a windowsill or rooftop with direct sunlight exposure. As the sun heats the dark bottle, it will warm the seawater in the clear bottle. The seawater will evaporate and the vapor will rise to the cooler upper portion of the clear bottle. As the vapor cools, it condenses back into liquid water droplets, which will slowly trickle down the sides and collect at the bottom of the bottle, ready for consumption. In the concrete jungle, resourcefulness is key. Everyday items that we often discard without a second thought can be transformed into life-saving tools with a little ingenuity. Take, for instance, the humble cardboard box, a staple of urban life often relegated to recycling bins. With a bit of modification, it can become a surprisingly effective solar oven, capable of generating enough heat for small-scale desalination. To construct your urban solar oven, you'll need a cardboard box, the larger the better, aluminum foil, clear plastic sheeting, a black cooking pot or container, and some non-toxic insulation material like newspaper or crumpled paper bags. Line the inside of the box with aluminum foil, shiny side facing inward, to reflect sunlight towards the cooking pot. Place your black cooking pot or container in the center of the box and fill it with a small amount of seawater. Cover the top of the box with a sheet of clear plastic secured with tape or string to trap heat and create a greenhouse effect. Place your solar oven in a sunny location, angling it to maximize sunlight exposure. The concentrated heat will cause the seawater to evaporate and the vapor will condense on the cooler plastic sheet, eventually dripping back down into the pot as purified water. Out in the unforgiving wilderness, sometimes your life depends on having the right tool for the job. Desalination is no different. While DIY methods are essential survival skills, having a purpose-built desalination device can be a game-changer. These aren't just gadgets, they're lifelines engineered to turn saltwater into salvation. Take, for instance, the Katadyn Survivor 35. This hand-pumped reverse osmosis desalinator is a beast. Trusted by the US Navy, it's built to withstand the harshest conditions. With each pump, you're literally pushing seawater through a microscopic membrane, stripping out the salt and delivering pure, drinkable water. It's like having a portable desalination plant in your backpack. Then there's the Lifesaver jerrycan. This ingenious device is a two-in-one solution. Not only does it filter out bacteria, viruses, and even heavy metals, but it also tackles salt, turning seawater safe for consumption. And it's designed for portability and ease of use. Just fill it up, pump the handle, and you have clean water ready to go. It's a lifesaver in a jerry can, literally. These aren't just pieces of gear, they're investments in your survival. They offer reliability and efficiency that DIY methods, while valuable, sometimes can't match. In a true survival scenario, having that extra edge can make all the difference. Section 2. Level up your prepping investing in reliability. For serious preppers, especially those living in coastal areas, having a commercial desalination device in your emergency kit is a no-brainer. These devices offer a level of reliability and efficiency that can provide peace of mind in the face of uncertainty. Consider desalinator bags. These compact, lightweight kits are often found in lifeboats and survival rafts for a reason. They utilize a simple yet effective reverse osmosis process to remove salt from seawater. Just add seawater to the bag, hang it in a sunny location, and let the power of natural evaporation do the work. It's a low-tech solution with a high impact on your survival chances. Now, we understand that not every prepper has an unlimited budget, but here's the thing. You don't need to break the bank to incorporate commercial desalination into your preparedness plan. Start by researching different devices, comparing features and reading reviews. Look for sales and discounts. Investing in a commercial desalination device is a statement. It's a statement that you take your survival seriously, that you're prepared to face the unexpected, and that you're not willing to let a lack of fresh water dictate your fate. Section 1. United we stand, the power of collective action. Survival is rarely a solitary endeavor. It's about coming together, pooling resources, and leveraging each other's strengths to overcome adversity. This principle rings especially true when it comes to desalination. While a single individual can successfully desalinate water, a group effort can multiply efficiency and yield, transforming a challenging task into a manageable one. Imagine a group of survivors stranded on a remote coastline. Instead of each person struggling to build and maintain their own small solar still, they join forces. Some gather driftwood and debris for constructing larger, more efficient stills. Others focus on collecting seawater, ensuring a steady supply for the desalination process. A few individuals, skilled in fire starting, maintain a constant flame for steam distillation. This division of labor not only lightens the workload for each individual, but also allows for specialization. Those with a knack for construction can focus on optimizing the desalination setups, while those with a keen eye for detail can monitor the process and ensure optimal yield. The collective knowledge and experience of the group create a synergistic effect, boosting their chances of survival. The benefits of group desalination extend beyond efficiency and yield. Working together fosters a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose, crucial for maintaining morale in the face of adversity. It creates a support system where individuals can rely on each other, share knowledge, and offer encouragement during challenging times. The ocean demands respect. It's a force of nature that can sustain life, but it can also swiftly punish carelessness and ignorance. When it comes to desalination, certain mistakes can turn your quest for hydration into a deadly gamble. Understanding these pitfalls is as crucial as knowing the methods themselves. One of the most common and often fatal errors is drinking brackish water without proper desalination. Brackish water, a mix of fresh water and seawater often found in estuaries and coastal areas, might seem less salty, tempting you to take a sip, but don't be fooled. It still contains enough salt to dehydrate you, often with a delayed reaction that can lull you into a false sense of security. Another grave mistake is relying on standard water filters for seawater desalination. As we've learned, these filters are designed for different purposes, ill-equipped to handle the high salt concentration of seawater. Using them not only yields undrinkable water, but also risks damaging the filter, rendering it useless for other potential water sources, and never, ever underestimate the importance of a well-sealed distillation system. Every wisp of escaping steam represents a loss of precious fresh water. A loose lid, a poorly fitted condenser, or a crack in your boiling vessel can significantly diminish your yield, turning what could have been a steady flow of life-giving water into a meager trickle. Survival hinges on attention to detail. What might seem like minor oversights can have catastrophic consequences in a survival scenario. When it comes to desalination, these seemingly small mistakes can mean the difference between thriving and merely surviving. One such pitfall is using aluminum cookware for steam distillation over an open flame. While aluminum is a lightweight and readily available material, it's not ideal for high-heat applications, especially when exposed to acidic substances like seawater. The heat can cause the aluminum to break down, leaching potentially harmful metallic compounds into your distilled water. Another common mistake is neglecting to test your distilled water before consuming large quantities. While desalination methods effectively remove salt, there's always a slight risk of contamination, especially when improvising with found materials. Collecting a small amount of distilled water and observing it for any unusual color, odor, or taste can help you identify potential problems before they become health hazards. And never forget the importance of pacing yourself. Even when you've successfully desalinated water, it's crucial to rehydrate gradually. Drinking too much too quickly can shock your system, leading to nausea, vomiting, and even seizures. Start with small sips, allowing your body to readjust to hydration slowly and safely. Remember, survival is a marathon, not a sprint. Reverse osmosis, RO, is one of the most effective ways to turn seawater into drinkable water, and it's used by militaries, survivalists, and even whole cities. Here's a breakdown of how it works and how preppers can use it. Reverse osmosis forces seawater through a semi-permeable membrane that only allows water molecules to pass, not salt, bacteria, or contaminants. Best reverse osmosis systems for preppers. Katahdin Survivor 35 manual hand pump RO system used by special forces and life rafts produces around 4.5 liters hour, expensive but compact, durable. Reliable lifesaver jerry can, RO plus ultrafiltration. No electricity required filters, viruses, bacteria and salt, RO variant only. Desalinator Survivor Pro, electric powered, high-end models for boats or off-grid homesteads with solar requires battery or generator power. By avoiding these common desalination pitfalls and approaching the process with meticulous attention to detail, you significantly increase your chances of not just surviving but thriving in the face of adversity. Thanks for watching Prepper's Edge. If you found value in this survival breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with your tribe. Because when the world changes, only the prepared endure. Stay sharp, stay ready. This is Prepper's Edge.